Hi, it's Craig Metrowich for VideoCelebrityNews.com, and I've got Johry Batt with me. He is certainly in my mind a celebrity, a superstar, because he's on the front cover right now of Men's Health magazine internationally in Germany. And I saw the pic and I tell you, man, I am envious. And you must have worked out a hell of a lot to get to that position, eh?
Well, I try to work out as often as I can.
In your type of business, you should. Let's get straight to your business.
Yeah.
Tell us about your business. What's your business called?
Huber Fitness.
Huber. How did Huber Fitness come about? Is it a buddy's name? Is it your name? Is it how did the name come about?
You know what? Actually, in the beginning, I played around with many names, and I wanted it to be catchy and short, and almost like trying not to make it that it's necessarily just fitness or a training center, but eventually going over into something you can turn into a brand. So that was important for me in the beginning to think about that. What I want to do, not just thinking about, listen, I want to open up a center now, but what it potentially can be going forward. But I think, And
I love your colors. I mean, is this your corporate colors that I'm looking at in the background? Is this kind of your style?
Definitely. Black, white, and orange.
Let's just do a little turn around here together. Let's just show you down here at the bottom here. So this is private section nogal. I'm in the private area, am I?
This is
the private zone.
This is the private area.
Okay, so I feel like a VIP. I'm in the private area. Not that I've got a six-pack. I made sure to wear 2 layers of clothes for this interview because I thought if I walk in there with something that's body revealing, he's going to say, "Hey, Craigie, you need to join us as soon as possible."
And no one's revealing much at the moment. No way.
It's a bit cold here in Cape Town anyway, luckily for us. Right, let's get on with the interview. I want to ask you a couple of questions around your background. I know you come from a teaching background and the physical education side. How did you realize, at what point did you realize that you could do this for like a living? I mean, did somebody tell you? How did you get into this? That's the question. How did you get into this?
Listen, I always wanted to do my own thing.
Right.
And started my own brand, started my own business. But I think it was really after 5 years of teaching, and I realized, listen, I love this. I'm doing this at the moment, but this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life.
So that's like kind of you enjoyed it, but it's not your calling. This is like you found your calling. I get it.
And I mean, my calling, I think, is always working with people. That's initially why I went into teaching, and I loved playing sports and being part of a team setup.
Were you any good at sports? So come and brag a little bit. Did you win anything in your youth? Were you fast? What were you good at?
I was very fast. I was
I
short
can see
and fast.
Yeah, I can see you were fast. That I worked out.
You know, people still see me and they ask me, "Are you scrum half?"
So if you played rugby, you weren't the best rugby player. You just were the fastest. As long as you got the ball, no one could catch you.
Like a bit of a nice Buerta without the kicking.
Good. Okay, well, you look better than Nas Buerta. Nas, if you watch this, sorry man, he's much younger than, better looking than both of us actually. And so that's from a adventure point of view into it and becoming an entrepreneur, the adventure of being an entrepreneur. How did you link that? How did you decide? Because this is a big step. You've got an amazing business. What was the big leap for you?
That just taking that first step without knowing, because you always want to know, you know, that guarantee, is this going to be successful? Are you going to have clients walking in when you leave your
Was
day
je
job?
bang? Were you scared? Come on, be honest. Bang, Okay, for translation and international viewers, bang means he was scared. Like mega scared. Yeah, he was going to swear for all of us. That's how scared he was. But that's entrepreneurship, eh? Yeah. Entrepreneurship. I've been an entrepreneur, right, for 13 years. I've had multiple contracts. I've been very blessed with my business coaching and my inspirational speaking. Yeah. But I tell everybody, you got to keep reinventing yourself. And that's also scary, eh?
No, you know what? I think a business like this one, it started very small. And a lot of people that's here today don't know the growing pains that we went through at the time. So, it's really a process of, it's like a baby. It's almost for the business to grow up.
Yeah. And I've got a baby. I've got a Bambina. She's 5 years old. And I'm telling you now, it is the growing process of seeing her not telling me what to do. Now she tells me what to do at 5. Eh?
No, it's massive. And I mean, with times like today, you constantly have to adapt. There's always new competition coming in.
Correct.
And you've got to change. I mean, we've completely changed our style without losing ourselves completely, but we've kept our same style, but we've adapted so much.
So just to add there, what I found is you're actually innovating and reinventing yourself.
All the time.
Yeah. Sometimes I find with entrepreneurs, they have a success formula and it works for a time period. And then the mistake they make, they become stagnant and lazy and they have apathy in what they're doing, and then they lose the business opportunities. I mean, example like what we're doing right now, the vlogging style.
Yep.
I mean, I never thought that I would love to be videoing and interviewing people. Many years ago, I was mainly doing the stuff as far as workshops and presenting.
Yeah.
Still do a lot of that, but now we incorporate technology. So we'll do a workshop where we can go live and do the intro, so all the staff can see it. And then what we can do is we can do an HD recording like this. It changes the dynamics of your business, eh?
No, it's massive, and I think this, for most businesses, this is probably the way forward.
Yeah.
You know, vlogging.
Correct.
I've got to learn about this. I've learned a lot from you today.
No, with pleasure. I said to him when we meet, I've got to also impart some of my, it's not words of wisdom, okay? It's pain and suffering, so that he doesn't have to go through it. So I said, let me show you how I set this all up. And there is a technique to all of it, but it's all doable. No, right? It's all doable.
Like, listen, with anything, it's growing pains, as we call it, and you just got to take that first step
and go for it.
Like within my industry, if I can use an example, like someone that's really overweight and that find it hard to imagine that they can get into shape or they can lose the weight they need to. Just start. You have to start, and that's the only way you're going to learn.
You must have a starting point. I agree with you there. I mean, when I set out to create videocelebritynews.com, I was a bit concerned on like, who could I interview? Would people be keen? Would they expect me to pay them a fortune if they're a celebrity? And then I thought,
you know something? You're not paying me?
No, not today. Sorry, didn't we mention that?
Take me for a beer, that's fine.
Okay, beer. That's easy enough. That's affordable. You can take me for a cappuccino. That's fair enough. But just on a serious note, is what I learned from that is exactly that. No more excuses. Stop procrastinating.
Definitely.
And really, if you are passionate about what you want to do, then you're going to find ways to make it happen. And that's why I'm so grateful. As guys like you, you're an entrepreneur, you get it. We decide a date, time, and in short notice, let's make this happen. Yeah. And I'm very grateful that you're here.
Thank you.
Let's go a little, pleasure, man. It's the best looking oak I've actually interviewed in a hell of a long time.
Hairline's growing, man.
Let's go a little bit more serious on the business side, because a lot of the people watching this are also business people, entrepreneurs, salespeople. Let's inspire them. How did you get to go from a small business? Let's talk about how you've branched out now. I mean, you've got massive facilities here, right? Okay, in Milnerton. Tell us about your expansion.
It's still seen as a small boutique kind of gym setup, and we actually don't like to call ourselves a gym, because it's more like a fitness studio.
Okay.
We have a very selective client base. You don't need like walk-ins all the time. We have our client base, and they usually stick with us because they grow with us, and they grow as a business, and they bring in,
But listen, we have now, let's just use that as an example, and I had the privilege of meeting two fantastic celebrities doing a workout here earlier on. Tell us about them quickly. I mean, that makes it relevant. I watched these two beautiful people, from the side of my eye. I don't want them to notice that I was watching. But they were doing a workout, a routine workout. But you tell us about that. I mean, it's phenomenal that they use your facilities, but they raved about how you've supported them. Tell the audience about that, because I'm going to do an interview follow up with them, by the way.
Listen, I think in business, everyone eventually needs someone that's going to make the change in their business.
Right.
And for me, it was initially just friends giving me a small loan to start up the business. And then, later on, as it grew, the business needs became more. And
look, they believed in you. Your business partner believed in you enough. I've had a similar type setup where I've got a friend who says, I believe in you. I want you to be successful. They put in a little bit to assist you. They do expect a return on the investment. And then it's exciting for them because they see the journey that you're on, the highs and the lows and the growth. But tell us about the two people that are working out, man. You've got to tell us about that. We're not telling too much details.
Listen,
they were on a dance. No, just tell us. They were on what? America's Got Talent.
Well, South Africa's Got Talent. Maybe
America doesn't have our talent. They wish they had all our talent.
Yeah,
they were on SA's Got Talent. They were doing a dance routine. They were working out. And the amazing thing was they came across, we had a chit-chat, and they said directly to me, impromptu, that it was thanks to you that they've managed to shine their talents. So what I'm saying is, you're a really good coach. I mean it, you're a really good fitness coach. Because to have somebody come up to me impromptu and share that, that they have at the highest level been dancing, they're featured on TV, And I hope the mystery's there. I think the mystery's there. And the fact that came up to me and said, listen, thanks to him assisting us, using his facilities, that they've managed to shine at the highest level. So I'm telling you, Craig Metrowich is telling you, you're a great fitness coach.
Thanks.
So stay there.
I think it's about paying it forward to people. Everybody needs help somewhere, or whether it's just a facility or coaching, a word of advice, a diet. If we can, we do it. We're still a business, but
you still need the commercial value just to come in there. What giving are you doing? Let's ask. I'll help you there. My giving is childhood cancer. Okay. So for over a decade, whenever I can do, I can't always give money. I'm not the wealthiest oak on the planet, and if I was, I would give much, much more. But I have been able to give of my time. So I will, volunteer to help the volunteers.
If we can buy time, like my business partner always says.
And that's got a value, It's got a massive value. So what type of giving are you guys involved with? I mean, how are you giving in any way?
So we've got a few local sports athletes, rugby players, people that just needs the transformation, can't really always afford it at the time, or they're just not in a space where they want to spend money on that, and we get them into that, and we give a little bit. If I can. The latest charity event that we did was Burpees for Babies, which is a South African establishment, and they. I don't know the figures now, I'm going to shoot from the hip, but there's hundreds of abandoned babies in South Africa that we don't even know about, and they go to specific homes in South Africa that provide for them.
Well, you see, just to come in there, so that's where you take something that is, like, let's face it, that can be seen as a very negative if you do nothing about it. And that's why video celebrity news is not a rah-rah or blah blah. It's actually taking the reality. I recognize there's reality out there. I do recognize there's challenges, and I do recognize there's negativity and fake news. But let us focus on the upside. So here's an upside. Your business and you are making a difference to kids that would probably not have any hope. And through your business and through your clients that are supporting you, you're making a positive difference. And that's well. I think let's round of applause to all the clients that are supporting you. You can do the round of applause. I can't multitask. Right,
so we actually, I need to tell you about this. We, in 2 hours, and that's just our client base that came in, and we said, okay, we don't want to go overboard, so we need to do a burpee and a rand for a burpee.
Okay.
So
how many burpees got done?
And we like to normally, in this case, my business partner, Abilio, he led the way by doing 1,000 burpees.
What? How fit? And that's fit. That's super fit.
And within 2 hours. This is all within 2 hours. And in total, we did with everyone's burpees combined, we did over 13,000 burpees and raised over 30,000 rand in 2 hours.
I wanted to interview you to be inspired at a level for our audience, but I mean that is phenomenal. That just shows you that you can make a difference.
That's just something. I mean,
that shows you can make a difference.
This was actually the first big charity event that we did, and I mean, it just showed us that we should probably do.
How did you feel as a person getting involved with that? I mean, do you realize now how exciting it is to have your business? Because your business is not only about profit. Okay, let me just go on process here because we're just getting to know each other as well. So let's highlight some of this. The first thing you got to look at is the skills. So you got to have communication skills as an example, right? The next thing you got to have the right attitude. And I can see you're a passionate guy, you're enthusiastic, you've got a dynamic attitude. Okay. The next thing to have is what they call SQ, spiritual quotient, and that is the purpose. Like, why do it? You know, it's a calling for you. You want to make people fit and healthy, and you want them in the right lifestyle. The next thing is called PQ, physical quotient. That's the action side. And part of your actions is, okay, we're not going to just take, we're going to give. The thing that most people get wrong, which is a big negative, and we all have it in our formula of business, it's called the zero quotient, which is procrastination. Many of us, we fail because we find excuses not to do the next thing.
It's so easy to do that.
You know, I want to get up early, it's too early to go to the class, it's too cold. The excuses stop you doing it instead of saying, I can do this. Equals RQ, results quotient. And that's numbers. Now,
you have to write this down.
Yeah, I'll write it down for you. So, on a serious note, me being as a business coach, inspirational speaker, is you're doing the right stuff. So, the only thing you got to add is a thing called a CQ, which is the challenge quotient. And the challenge quotient means that you've got to have a goal bigger than yourself. So, that goal is like our goal for videocelebritynews.com is 10 million subscribers globally. That's a huge goal. But within 24 months. So I didn't say like tomorrow. It'd be quite cool if it happened tomorrow. But within 24 months of
doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. We know that. Like we spoke about it. Can I get a 6-pack when I leave you? Ain't gonna happen, right?
6-pack of beer.
We can go 6-pack of beer. We can draw a 6-pack on your tummy. That's about it. So you have done the right stuff as far as following that process. Okay. To wrap up, I wanted to ask you about expansion. You mentioned something earlier on. Where are you expanding to now? Where's your next move?
We currently in Milnerton, our first studio, where it all started.
Yeah.
And I think before we can talk about expansion.
Yes.
For me, the biggest challenge in this industry, and I think a lot of, I've spoken to a lot of other entrepreneurs, is getting the right team involved. And my business partner, Emilio Frazita, he's a very successful businessman in South Africa, in Cape Town. And he doesn't. For him, this business is 100% passion,
right?
And that's why I think it's such a great team effort from the beginning, because my passion, he's 100% passionate about this. And then as time went by, we started getting in the right people.
And people is such an amazing thing. You have the wrong people, stifles and kills your business.
We've learned the hard way.
You have the right talent and the right attitude, because you can train people on a lot of things. You can coach them to a point, but if that, you don't have their buy-in, and they must be like clones of you, many clones of you.
I think clones, but also you want
their own type of charisma.
You want different personalities in the business, because you're working with people all the time, and the more input you can get from everyone, the better.
Excellent.
And
so let's talk about where is it? Tiger Valley, eh?
Tiger Valley, yeah.
Okay,
Tiger Valley is our latest one. So cool. We've been wanting to expand for quite some time now, but again, we've waited. Timing
wise,
of the essence, right? We got to get our timing right. And we just opened up in a prime location in Tiger Valley. And it's doing well. But with any business, again, we learned, we thought, it's gonna be like, hey.
Listen, the day that business works like that, that's why you got to read. I've told the people, you can read every single book there is out there, right? And you will learn something out of them. So I'm not knocking it. It's very good. But none of them say, I will pay off your bond if this doesn't work, or I'll pay your salary at the end of the month. I mean, the pain that you got to go through as an entrepreneur, because what you saw was like, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. It's going to fly. It's going to rocket. And then you find through your pain and suffering, you get wisdom.
Yeah.
And then you can tweak it. Yeah. So we're going to wrap up. We're looking at time. I just want to say thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Johry Batt. Have I got it right?
Yes, that's spot on.
He's a wonderful guy. I wish you all the best with your business. I wish you huge success. I want you to go from strength to strength. And I just want to thank you for your time. And I'll wrap up with my favorite saying, positive saying, share the love, share the good news, share the light. Just share the love.
And share the fitness.
And share the fitness.